We chase the music just as hard and as fast as we possibly can. And if we do that well, then they're going to be satisfied, we figure.
Bob Weir, the rhythm guitarist, singer, and founding member of the Grateful Dead, died this weekend at 78 from lung issues after recently battling cancer, according to a statement from his family. And so now tonight, we reflect on Weir's life, which unfolded within a wider cultural revolution, which began in 1960 San Francisco, and ultimately wielded truly global influence for really 50 years. Weir, alongside the lead guitarist Jerry Garcia and that band whose members evolved over decades, really established something that went beyond music itself. Weir helped light the Dead's flame and kept carrying the torch for what became really part of the hippie movement's soundtrack. This band was known for jamming and touring. Weir's particular contribution included fusing a kind of revolutionary counterculture vibe, which we all recognize from so much of the music of that era, with his own take on classic Americana. Weir's guitar had a reverent nod to blues and folk, rock, bluegrass, and even at times country. And while some 70s rock and jam bands seem to kind of draft on their own nostalgia or throwbacks, the Dead did that, but Weir was also key to the band's evolving energy, the large crowds of new and young fans you see here. He was the main member to lead the band after Garcia's death through decades more tours, music, and evolution, including other configurations that many young fans know as the Grateful Dead, like Dead & Co. with John Mayer. And it showed that the hippie spirit is alive today, not merely for history lessons and throwbacks. The Dead were always slyly known for being live, iconic for the winding improv performances that change night after night. They actually hold the record for over 2,300 live shows, a record for any band. And their crowds were looking for those timeless songs, jams, and connecting with the community they called the Deadheads.
So the kids, they dance and shake their bones, and the politicians throwing stones, singing ashes, ashes, all fall down. Chug it, just take shit, keep chugging, like the good old man. Some folks trust reason, others trust your mind. I don't trust nothing, but enough to that right.
Weir's legacy, of course, tied to his great friend and collaborator, Jerry Garcia. They had their own kind of balance that everyone knows from so many of the old live recordings. Garcia's mind-bending kind of exploratory runs would dance, again, Weir's approach to chords and a voice that would often ground or bring back the wild jams to a chorus or a rock and roll song. Garcia passed away in 1995, and Weir told us right here on The Beat about how he had visits from Jerry Garcia during his dreams. How does he appear to you in your dreams? Is it a specific memory you guys shared that comes up, or he comes back and sort of is like a person in your life now?
Well, you know, like for instance, a while back, he came to me in a dream and introduced to me a song that we were going to work on together. It was a jazz ballad that we were going to do a duet on. And the song itself was A Living Critter. Not unlike a great big ethereal sheepdog. He came up and sniffed me, and I batted it around a little bit, and sort of nipped back at me, and we got to be friends, and we got to like each other, and then and that sort of confirmed a notion that I've been harboring for a long time, that a song is an actual living entity of some sort.
The song's a living entity. The Dead there grew up really before their generations, and then, as mentioned, recruited or found so many new fans born long after they began. They weren't about any particular defined written agenda, more of a big tent vibe. They did make a kind of exception in 2008, coming out for the Obama inaugural ball as a kind of special moment. We spoke to Weir before the 2020 election and got into a couple topics. Skull and Roses or Dancing Bears?
Skull and Roses for sure. I was never was all that fond of the Dancing Bears.
No? Even they're cuddly. This is kind of a tough one, but
Define Box of Rain.
You're going to have to get Phil on the phone for that one.
If you had to define this election, would it be Hell in a Bucket or Dancing in the Streets?
Or a little of both.
Everybody loves playing in the band, and you say, I don't trust to nothing, but I know it'll come out right. Do you still have that optimism today, sir?
Hell yeah. You know, my entire life has been an exercise in faith.
An exercise in faith. I'll just mention the first time I saw Bob Weir play was in 1994 with the fully composed Grateful Dead at the time. Last time I got to see him play was this summer with Dead & Co. at the Sphere. And there's nothing particularly unique about that. I just happened to be the one talking about him, like so many people were reflecting and talking about him, I know, over this weekend with this news. A life well lived. Millions of other fans have this experience. Being a Deadhead meant you could check in with this band anytime. Could be alone going through one of the great old recordings you happen to like of a particular night, or you could go out and do a new 5 nights in a row. You could take a few years off and come back and tap into what was clearly an ongoing, intergenerational, and often ineffable experience which brought people together for live music and the genuine shared excitement of something new, because the set lists always change, which is really different than most bands. And that new thing was, of course, famously marbled right over the rich traditions of something old. And as they say, the music never stopped.
Well, I went down and honey.